Test, test, test.
Okay, the little arrows moving. Must be okay.
Can I borrow one of those, Frank?
Is there too many?
No, I just,
Oh, I stole yours because it does. That one doesn't have a clip.
it's okay.
I can get you one.
I didn't know I stole yours. I thought it was freelance.
I think it'll work right there. I think.
As long as you project.
Some doesn't have a clip either.
Well, I think this is good, Betty. This should be fine.
What are you building? Another
Uh,
storage area or greenhouse?
No, machine storage
Okay,
building.
so you want to switch
Machine
out.
storage?
Here's
Oh.
the, you,
Yep.
I can just take the, this thing.
Oh.
Okay, and then you want to just pull that, you have to push the little button thing.
Yeah.
Did you get a permit?
Yeah.
Here. Sorry, the button is really small, is the problem.
Now we'll change it back.
There.
There. Green lights on?
There.
Right, being 6:03, we'll call the meeting to order. And first agenda item is determine a quorum, and with 4 members seated, we have a quorum. I would ask if anybody to disclose conflicts of interest. Hearing none, we'll proceed to item 2, which is the acceptance of 3 sets of minutes. June 19th, July 24th, and August 14th.
You want a separate motion for each minute?
Okay to do it
You
as,
can do them all
Yep.
together, if they're all correct.
I would entertain such a motion.
Make a motion to accept the 3 sets of minutes, A, B, and C.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by David. Discussion?
I probably should say that I did not attend the June 19th workshop.
Oh, was it on there that you did?
Okay, that
Well,
correction
we
is
could amend those. That's
noted.
no problem.
Oh, it does say it in the notes.
What says absent? Absent, so Wentworth and Eric Hitchcock.
So is that correct, Steve, then?
Yes,
You're
it is.
Okay, so they are
And you-
correct.
So it's correct, because you didn't attend.
Right.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
okay. Any other comments? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. Steve?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. The minutes are approved. And we'll move to a public hearing at 6:05 approximately regarding Irving Farm Site Design Review Solar Project. So in your packet you have, I think, beginning on page 16, or maybe sooner,
14?
14. We have the final site design review criteria to be considered by the planning board. Of course, we had the conceptual review at our last meeting. So we'll go down through and encourage members to chime in when appropriate. So conformance with comprehensive plan. I'd ask Penny, is that a yes?
Well, I mean, it is consistent with our plan to support local agricultural businesses. And this is for Irving Farms, and it's my understanding that they're using the power themselves there. They have a potato house or some kind of storage there.
Storage and packing facility.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
It's not like, you know, it's a commercial thing, as far as I know.
Well, that's a
Does-
yes.
That's a yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Criteria for traffic, and that's,
Really not applicable.
Not really applicable there. I mean, they would have to cut the grass there on occasion, but,
would be
and if they had somebody working
periodic
there.
service
Yeah,
traffic, but not
Yeah.
enough to create.
Exactly.
So we would say yes. Site access,
Yes.
looks like there's 2 roads that are going to provide site access. So yes. Parking and vehicle circulation,
I'd say that's kind of NA.
No,
That's
it's not applicable.
probably an A.
No. As in-
Pedestrian circulation would be the same,
Yep.
NA.
Yeah.
Site conditions,
Should be fine.
Yeah.
so yes. Open space,
Yeah, it's
Yes.
surrounded by open space, so.
and what has been open space. Sanitary sewage is
Not
not
applicable.
applicable. Water's not applicable. Emergency vehicle access,
I would say yes, it's off that
Yep.
main
Yep.
road.
yep. Waste disposal is not applicable. Buffering, what's that in reference to, buffering?
If there was houses
A
that,
neighbor close by
Right.
or something?
then we would probably request
Yeah.
they have a spruce buffer of some sort, but it's not applicable in this particular
Right.
instance.
Natural areas,
NA again.
Yeah.
NA. Exterior lighting,
NA.
NA. Stormwater management,
I'd say NA because they're not really changing the topography.
No,
of
they're
the-
not.
right, there's still chance for filtration. Erosion and sediment control,
It's all planted in grass, so that's a yes.
that's a yes. Buildings, are there
None.
service buildings? None?
No.
So it'll be yes, or NA probably, NA. Existing landscaping,
That's a yes.
infrastructure. Well, the infrastructure is
Next to the power lines.
what they're doing,
So,
is
yep, that's good.
providing, so. Advertising features.
NA.
Yeah, I don't believe there'd be any signage
No.
there.
Yeah, there's a bunch of signs in the plan, but they all have to do with safety or
Right.
warnings.
Yeah, but yeah. okay.
Warnings, yeah.
It doesn't have, I didn't see a solar
Yeah.
project sign. Design relationship to site,
Doesn't apply, not NA.
site and surrounding properties. So that's that one. On page 13, it's location of outdoor storage, fences, signage, and accessory. Am I going the right one?
No.
Why does that, oh, I'm in the wrong one. Scenic vistas and areas.
I think it's probably NA,
Yeah.
yeah.
Utilities,
NA.
mineral exploration,
NA.
general requirements.
I don't believe there's any specialized general requirements for solar at this time. But of course, as I'm going through this, I'm thinking about, like you brought up many times, we really need to be having different things in our ordinance. I mean, Presque Isle's going through it right now. But the good news is Eric Sanderson is going to be helping with the planning board starting with next month's meeting. So these are things we can get him to kind of work on, so.
Good.
Yeah.
Phosphorus export.
I would say NA because they're not really mobilizing on the site, they're just gonna place the panels.
Yeah.
And they're not disturbing in between them, so.
That pretty much only applies to gravel pits.
Oh,
Or,
that's wonderful.
or parking lots, I guess.
Yeah. Over the threshold.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. In the plan, it shows the rows of panels, and there's one view that shows 2 different colors. Do you know what that is about, Penny?
I do not.
You know what I'm talking
What
about?
page you're referencing?
I'm looking for
Page
it.
27. The print is so small that,
I couldn't see it, but.
Because on page 19, they're all the same color.
Yeah, but there's a legend there about those 2 colors. I can't read it.
Okay, well, we can pull it up on here. We might be able to see it a little better. What page did you say it's on, 27?
27 in your numbering.
Oh, yeah.
3 of them are yellowish and 3 of them are orange,
Oh,
peach
yeah.
or orange,
So,
whatever.
okay, yeah, I see we have a legend. Let's see if we can. see
So
what
what's that saying,
says.
small letters?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're gonna make it bigger over here for us old people that can't read anything. I'm finding like I can't read anything with my glasses. I can't read it with them on. I can't read with them off.
Well, my first guess was sometimes they're tipped at a different angle for the sun, but that's an assumption. So we'll see what.
So I can't seem to read it any better up there, but let me see. I've got the original packet here. See if it's easier to read in here.
What is it, like 29 acres? Something like that?
I think it's only a couple.
Yeah.
Oh,
think
I
it's-
guess the property they own
Yeah.
at that site is 29 acres.
Yeah, that's probably the total property there.
Gotcha.
Oh, I keep missing.
Do we know if they're stationary or tilting ones, or?
Stationary.
It seems
Yeah.
like most of them today are just fixed.
Yeah.
You know, at one time there seemed to be.
The ones that move are quite a lot more money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and probably some maintenance
Yeah.
issues.
And the winter time's probably an issue for the ones that move.
Just dump the snow and go back.
Yeah.
Oh, inverter 1 and inverter 2. So there's 2 different inverters for this field. And so the ones in one color are inverter number 1, which I had to use my phone to make this on the original big enough for me to read it.
So it's just part of the electrical plan,
Yes.
basically? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep,
Goes
Handle
to-
capacity.
yep.
Okay. That
All
makes
right,
sense.
thank you.
That's the answer. Sorry.
It's a good answer.
Yeah, well, it's the answer, but I'm just sorry that it took me so long to try to figure that out
All right,
with my old eyes here.
so any other questions by the board or input during this hearing?
Can I make a motion to approve it? The plan as presented?
You can. We don't have any comments from the public, Penny?
Nope.
Nobody came back, and nobody's here, so, yeah, I need to close the hearing, I
Yep.
think, first. So if the board is comfortable with what we've reviewed, no other questions, I'll close the hearing at 6:14, and now I would entertain a motion.
I would like to offer a motion to accept the plan as presented.
Okay?
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded to accept the plan, Irving Farm Solar Project as presented. Discussion? Hearing none, we'll roll call vote. Steve?
Yes.
Dave?
Yep.
Eric?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes as well. The plan has been approved.
Then I'll need to send this around
So you
for
want us to
signatures.
sign those now?
Yeah,
or-
but did someone make notes of all the yeses and nos? Because I'm trying to take notes and I can I can update them on this actual.
I did.
You did? Okay, can I have yours at the end of the meeting?
Oh, that's
He-
what you mean.
Yeah, here's the
Yeah, I did
signature
too.
page here. So I can just put it on
Yeah.
here because I'm trying to do all the things. and-
Multitask.
Why'd you pick that line?
Well, that's
Because
being,
the acting chairman has to sign up top.
so I'll offer a chance to move to item 4, unfinished business, cannabis ordinance review. Any input on that, Penny?
Sure. So at their August 25th, 2025 meeting, the Caribou City Council voted to ask the Caribou Planning Board voted to task the Caribou Planning Board with the responsibility to reconcile and integrate Ordinance 3 approved by the Caribou City Council at the July 28th, 2025 meeting. I have contacted North Star Planning to assist us with this undertaking. I have attached Ordinance 3 that was passed and the section from Chapter 7 on licensing. If you have any suggestions, feel free to provide any input, and I hope to have something for you at the next meeting. The next City Council meeting is September 15th, with the one to follow on October 20th. So since this has happened, since the August 25th meeting, the city has been served with an ADB complaint regarding Ordinance 3. So it may be premature for us to make changes to present to the council until we get some resolution on that particular action.
Okay.
Do we need to ratify that as a planning board?
You mean that we're not gonna do anything right
No,
now?
that we like where you're going with it?
I don't know, you can do what you want, Dave, but I'm just saying, like this, I've contacted North Star because they're experts in planning, and, you know, I don't have the bandwidth with everything else going on. I mean, so you can imagine we get done with the city council meeting, and then I've got this ordinance that, I mean, a lawsuit or complaint or whatever that, you know, we also have to deal with, and amongst all the rest of the work to do. So because we don't have a full-time code officer and North Star has helped us with some other things, I reached out to them just to see if they'd be able to help. But because we have this complaint, it may be premature to actually have the planning board work on something to present to the council until that part is resolved.
Even North Star, right?
Well, I mean, right now I've just sent it to him.
Where can he go where it's in limbo?
Yeah, it's in limbo. I mean,
I would guess the ADB part is an appeal in the court system. So it's what the council has done, it sounds like the appeal is to nullify the action of the council.
Right.
Would be my, at this point.
Yeah, I believe that we should forego any work on anything to do with that ordinance until we get clarification.
That makes sense.
so is that a motion?
Yes,
Okay.
I didn't know we had to make a motion on that.
Well,
one, but
I don't really know. to
I'll
be
make a
honest.
motion
Yeah.
that the
Well, I think it's,
planning board does not take any more action
Until.
on section 4-A cannabis ordinance review, based on what you just explained to us.
I'll second your motion.
it's been moved and seconded to, I'm not sure of the exact wording.
Yeah.
Forego, I mean,
Forego,
It's tabling, would be
just
tabling it.
basically
Okay.
table.
basically tabling, yeah.
Tabling the cannabis ordinance review pending further clarification and outcome.
Okay.
Other discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote, and we'll start with Eric.
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Motion to table is approved.
So, Steve, so you think that it would be proper for me to say that clarification on the ADB appeal? Is that what you think?
I would think it
be?
is an
Okay.
appeal.
I don't know. I mean, I know that it came from the courts, and you know, we have an attorney working on it, so that's, I guess, all I feel comfortable saying at this time.
I think it would be considered an administrative appeal.
Okay, administrative appeal. Okay.
Item 5 is new business. I see none listed. Has anything come to the surface?
I mean, the only thing we really have right now, Tony's working on another daycare application that doesn't really need to come to the planning board now, but it is good to see that happening because we do need daycares in town. We have some really good projects going on in the city. nothing to bring to the planning board right now, but we are getting people that are interested in opening businesses, and there's just a lot of different excitement in Caribou about different things. I mean, I heard people talking today about somebody that was looking for a site. Eric talked to a couple of people earlier this week looking to move from a neighboring community over here.
Very good.
So we do have things going on.
Okay. If you recall, at the last meeting, I brought up the subject of us getting some action going relative to abandoned houses in the city of Caribou. Does that ring a bell with any of you?
Yes?
I did do a little research. I spoke to code enforcement in Old Town and Orono. They're basically we all kind of look at Bangor because they've got a much larger staff and they're much more detailed, and they have several models that they work with. I downloaded Bangor's property maintenance ordinances, and doesn't matter what we're gonna do, it involves a lot of work to be done by the code enforcement officer, which we don't have. So based on that, I'm kind of reluctant to introduce anything unless you want me to extrapolate what I can from the Bangor model, and we can work on it in-house with the understanding that we really can't pass it until we have somebody that can monitor it. Does that make sense?
We could do the legworking, I don't know, put it into the book. Because Penny's still looking and advertising, looking for a code officer to, but we could do the ordinance part of it here
Okay.
and send it to the council for,
Right. I mean, there's no harm in getting that done. You know,
and winter's coming, so we'll have time to work on it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll put a rough draft together,
Yeah.
and then we can tear it apart and,
Yeah. I mean,
modify
Eric
it.
Sanderson, his background is in planning.
okay.
So, and he's excited to get started working with the planning board. He joined our staff in late May, but Thursdays have not been great. He was covering all the Thursdays on Sweden because I was here at planning board, because he's been hired to do more economic development things, but he's willing to work with the planning board because that's what his background is. And I think that, reach out to Eric. And we have an Eric here. When I talk about Eric in my personal life, I have to call him Rick now, because my son-in-law's best friend's name is Eric, and they keep thinking that I'm talking about him. But so, Mr. Sanderson, I think if you make an appointment to come and talk to him and just say, this is my vision for this, and the planning board is open to get something going so we can present it to the council, so that when we do get a full-time code person, they've got more tools in their toolbox.
Okay.
I think he would be willing to help you kind of work on that, and
Okay.
he may even know somebody in Bangor code enforcement. He seems to have a lot of different, contacts, because he came from Southern Maine, in different pockets. So, yeah. And if Eric says, "Oh, I don't know about that one," we have a little bit of money in our contracted services line in Department 22, which is tax assessment and code enforcement, because we haven't had to pay our assessor as much this year, and that's the same line as that. So we do have some funds available if we needed to get North Star or somebody, involved to help us too. So I would say those are options.
Okay, I'll have a handout for you at the next meeting.
Okay, sounds great.
So wasn't Bangor recently in the paper about fining somebody for a vacant property and taking them to court, or,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it was a
Yeah, they-
pretty comprehensive plan. and
It's,
apparently has some effect, has some impact.
I was listening to something that said that Maine has the most like vacant houses in the country. I mean, is that possible?
no.
I mean, what I've heard, I mean, percentage-wise,
How,
it wouldn't
how would
be.
anybody know?
I don't know, and I heard that and I thought, that's so weird, but I wonder if some of it has to do with vacation homes. Like, there are a lot of people who don't live here year-round, and so a property
All
is
along the
sitting.
coast.
Yeah. And I
All
mean,
along the
but
coast
even
and in
here-
western Maine.
Well,
Yeah.
lake properties. And
Yeah, but even up here,
And up
the
in
lake
Sugarloaf,
properties.
all those houses are empty in the
Yeah,
summer.
right. Different parts of the year, they're empty. Some are empty in the summer, some are empty in the winter, but
But they're all registered, and they pay a fee, and there's a contact person 24/7 for that property. That's very explicit.
mhm.
And so, I mean, if hypothetically,
Yeah.
if somebody's porch collapses or something, the neighbor notifies the code enforcement officer that this happened. He's got a contact person immediately to remedy the situation, take care of it.
does Maine Municipal have in their archives resources or examples or a list of communities that would be good references? Are can they be helpful in that manner?
References for what?
References
Like,
for
A model?
yeah, models.
Okay, I can check.
It varies greatly from town to town.
Yeah, and I don't know how much of that is updated now, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Where people, it's easier to get in touch with like just like Dave getting in touch with Bangor. It's not like the old days where, you know, the bad old days when we didn't have email and we couldn't just go to
Yeah,
the municipal directory or Google like who's a code officer in Bangor and get a hold of them and get a hold of their code. But I can look at and see what they would have for resources.
But Dave's exactly right about implementation. It's one thing to have a grandiose plan, but if you don't have somebody to do step 1, 2, and 3, send
Yeah.
the letters, follow up,
Point is moot.
10 days,
Yeah. I
So
mean, we still
is
send
there
out
is there a
notices.
community of similar size
Yeah.
with similar
Yeah, challenges,
staffing
Yeah.
that has a plan that's manageable to implement? Yeah.
See, Bangor's got a staff of 3 or 4 in code enforcement.
Yeah, then
So-
they have other people that are just like building officials and plumbing
Building
inspectors.
inspectors.
But
yeah.
we don't even know how many vacant buildings we have, do we?
No, that was one of the things. Steve, were you still here when we were doing kind of we just kind of did an informal, no, because I think it was Dennis Marker was here, and you weren't here during his time. That we just kind of went around in the winter to see like what wasn't plowed out, to just kind of get a sense, like in the urban core, how many like vacant properties that there would be. And I don't even know what we end up doing with that information, but it was something. It was some kind of something he was thinking about.
Yeah,
so.
but then you get into this seasonal, so were those people did plow the driveway, but they're all in Florida? Or,
That's it. I mean, we
Or
don't know.
How do you ascertain that?
you know,
Well, there's
Well,
a
if you can
fee.
see if there's a meter, you
You
know,
have-
in some cases, but
A lot of the communities I've been dealing with, they want you to register,
right.
and you pay a fee, and it varies from $50 every 6 months. So you register the structure. If it's inhabited or not inhabited 3 months out of the year, you get a rebate, or it's nullified somehow, and that's to take into consideration the snowbirds that go from January to March. Other instances, it was like you mentioned, and they're all following a 6-month rule. If it is deemed really vacant and dilapidating and falling in arrears, you must register that, and it gets inspected by the building inspector, and notations are made, and you have a time frame, and if you don't comply, you're assessed another fine. And it was like this gentleman that you mentioned earlier, He didn't act on that for a period of 3 years, and he was way beyond, and they penalized him, and it went to court,
Mhm.
and I really don't know what the outcome was.
Mhm.
I think it's been appealed,
Yeah.
but anyway.
Well, eventually someone will hire someone for code. I
Are you
hope.
getting any bites? Any
Geez,
interest?
we haven't for quite a while. So I mean, so for example, I met with like Town Square Media to see like if we could do something kind of like online or on the radio. I think it was Madawaska used them to help with when they were in their crisis for public works. They needed several public works people in a short time frame, and they used them with some success. So I have met with them, you know, to see if we can just do a bigger campaign. Somebody out there must want, you know, have some kind of background with construction or the trades that would want to take it on, but you know, it's difficult because you have to be firm with people and you have to deliver news that people don't want to hear, and it's not easy, and you have to keep following up with people. I mean, I send out notices of violation and people aren't cutting their grass and people aren't taking care of their house, and then they just call and they want to argue with me like, well, you think my house is bad. Did you know that so-and-so's house? I mean, and I'm like, yeah, well, so-and-so, I've sent him something too, and you both better straighten up. But, you know, it's just that way. Sometimes, you know, you get voluntary compliance, and that's great because, you know, that just makes it a lot easier. But sometimes you don't get voluntary compliance. And sometimes it's these vacant buildings and it's people that live away that, like there's one on Park Street, and I guess it's an older person and lives with a family member, and I send letters and the grass is still high, and I mean, that's a nice neighborhood and you have a lot of people walking and walking to school, and there's nobody there, and I don't know. I don't have a good answer. Maybe people don't want to work here because the city manager is not a good person to work for. I don't know. But it was difficult. I mean, we had a code officer for a while, but you know yourself, he would come to the meetings and you'd have people come in and just complain that he wasn't doing his job. Like he'd had his job for 1 week and he came to his first meeting and there were all these people like screaming at him, and it's no wonder that he left, because it was that way at the council meetings and the planning board meetings, and we were doing our best to try to get, again, voluntary compliance with some of these issues. And he was even going to the extreme of like calling places that would haul off trash, because, you know, we were like, well, there is this little part in the code that says we can remediate it and send them the bill. Just seeing if we could get that done, but we couldn't even get anyone who was willing to come and clean it up until kind of at the end, and then by that time it was done. But it's not an easy job. I mean, Steve knows, he did that job for a long time, and it's anyway, not an easy job.
All right. Item 6 is City Council Liaison Report, and Mr. Bagley is out of town, I understand.
Yep.
Item 7 is Staff Report. Penny? You have a new sign out front. I don't know if I
Yes.
just noticed that, or it
It
is
just
new.
went up this week.
Oh,
So this,
Very nice.
So the signs that we have, the wayfinding signs that look like that were older, were done by Brian Cullens. And when Brian was sick, I was trying to get him to do some more signs like that for our different buildings. So, but he wasn't able to do those before he
Sure.
passed away. So these were done by Chris Fournier.
Yep.
And they look similar, you know, to the ones that we have, to try to stay cohesive. So we have a new sign here at the municipal building, one at the Caribou Community Garden, which is up.
by the airport?
Yeah, by the airport, part of the old mobile home park. We have a new one at the light industrial park. There was an old sign there, and it was also blocking the sign for the church. So when we put up the new sign, we have it so there's not blocking their sign. And then there's a new sign by the park and ride at the end of Otter Street. So we had Mr. Fournier make those in the same style of Brian Cullen's work.
Yeah, nice.
And just to be more cohesive, our rec department and the public works department, you may have noticed, they've been cutting the grass right along all of our corridors coming in. I believe Gary and some of his crew were even cutting the guardrails and stuff, so our gateways look nicer coming into town. One of the things that Gary and I have for 4 years talked about trying to get the state to do, because it's a state asset, is I don't know if it's really a trestle bridge, but I guess we all call it that. The ATV trail that is near the Powers Road, like between the new bypass, and then there's that trestle bridge that's all rusted. It looks terrible, it has graffiti. So we've been trying to get the state, because it's a state asset, for them to do something to make it look better, because it looks terrible. So we did get a quote to see if we could get some, clad it in metal or something, just to clean it up. You know, we could put "Welcome to Caribou" or something on there. But that came in to be expensive enough, we'd have to put it out for bid. But anyway, we're just trying to make everything look better in town, make it look more welcoming. Our public works department, they pave a few streets every year. There was a lot of paving that went on in town this year, and they've done a great job with that. Gary Marquis, again, who's just a phenomenal employee, he the banners that say "Welcome to Caribou," we had ordered new ones of those, and he got all those hung up, I think it was last weekend. So all the things, just trying to keep everything. And Gary was also the one that came up with the idea with the potato barrels with the flowers downtown, and so this is our second summer for having those, and amazingly people don't bother them. He has to water them every day to keep them looking nice, like they are. But I've really been surprised when he came to me last year and said that he wanted to do that. He'd found somewhere that had some potato barrels, and I said, okay, you can do it. I said, we'll see how it goes and see if people leave it alone and not vandalize them or steal them. But people have been really good. We haven't had any issues with that. So it's very labor intensive to keep them watered, but it's beautiful downtown, and we have a lot of people remark that it's really nice.
We had some good press or write-up about Amazon locating Caribou.
Oh yeah, we did. And then the city also purchased an ad in the Main Biz Fact Book, and we have some out in the lobby if you're interested in looking at it. Just about the different opportunities that are here in Caribou. And that has been well received. I've gotten different calls about that too. And that mentions Amazon in there, but also just some of the other really unique attributes that make Caribou inviting for business. And the Amazon facility is open. They're having the grand opening launch on the 24th. But we have an employee here that works like a 4-hour shift before she comes to work here. She starts at 4 in the morning and works 4 to 8, and then comes here to work. And she works in the warehouse, and she said that they've been telling them at their staff meetings that Caribou has the highest productivity of all the stations. And that's unheard of for a new station to start off being with such high productivity. The only limitation they have for this station right now is that they don't have enough drivers. So it's like a different subcontractor, apparently, that has the drivers. And they need more drivers because there's enough volume of packages that come up here that they can push through a lot. But now they're getting 2 trucks a day. And that's really just going in this immediate area. They're not even, going out as far as they plan to eventually, but they're doing such a high volume through the warehouse because they've got such great employees, and that's one of the things that's a real attribute for Caribou, is that they, have a very strong work ethic. They've been able to find good people to work in the warehouse, and those, I guess, are Amazon employees, and then the drivers are like contracted.
The driver's personal vehicles.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. I haven't personally spoken to any of the drivers, but Hannah.
I did. They delivered to my house once.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, and they loved it.
Yeah, that's what Karen said. They've been to Karen's a few times, and Hannah's talked to a couple of them, and they've all said that they really like it, and it works with their schedule. And they
Yeah,
find-
they had another job, and then this was a fill-in, and they used their own vehicle, but they were compensated and they liked it.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a win-win.
Yeah, yeah. And if they like what they see here, and that's one of the reasons for the big spruce up in town, the governor's coming, Amazon people are coming. If they come up and they, we already know that their site is already proving to be more productive than they thought. And if they come and they get a good sense of Caribou, and, they can make future investments. And they've said that before, if things start going well here, they'll make other investments, so.
Are they involved in other subsidiaries that might be interested in branching out to
Well, that's
Caribou?
what we're hoping. I mean, that's why we're going,
I'm sure they got their fingers in a bunch of things.
Yes, of course. I mean, it's just like anything else, like trying to get those support industries for what we have. I don't know if any of you, so do you work out at the base? Were you out there when they brought the plane in for the company?
Well, I didn't stick around for it, but yeah.
Yeah. So both.
It was right after I got done work, so.
Yeah. Eric Sanderson and Gary Marquis both went over there to represent the city. And they both got to go into the plane. I guess it was a New Zealand Air plane, but I guess it sounds like what they said was that these are out of the fleet, but it's individuals and corporations that buy them, and that's what they're doing, is retrofitting them for, like, I said, so Taylor Swift is going to have one of these jets. And they said, I don't know. I said, well, that's what I'm going to tell people. So we think, too, like anything that's good for Loring is good for Caribou, because when they start bringing skilled workers to come in to work on the aircraft, they're going to have to live somewhere, shop somewhere, come to go out to eat, fill up their car with gas. I think Caribou's going to be the natural choice. We're the ones with the school system, the healthcare system. It's.
They got a skeleton crew up here right now, right?
Yeah,
Where
but
where are they living?
I don't know. I don't know where they're living, but.
Can you have Eric nose around?
I can have Eric. I'll make a note. Have Eric nose around.
I'm just wondering if they're
Yeah.
taking advantage of what's that facility? The bunker?
The bunker inn. yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
But there's actually a lot of people staying there because there's a lot of construction going on.
Yeah, with the chip plant and
that's right.
everything. Yeah.
Well, he was struggling here a while back, didn't he? Didn't I see that was for sale?
The bunker inn.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
A couple of years ago.
Huh?
I think a couple of years ago.
No, as of late, I want to say. Had to do with the water and sewer rates. That didn't paint a pretty picture for him.
I will be very glad when their detour is over.
Oh,
Still-
yeah.
Still in effect?
Yeah. So you must have to drive up by my house.
Yeah. Well, otherwise I got to go through Limestone and around,
Yeah.
and it's way longer to go that way. I mean, go through Fort and then go around. So it's,
Yeah.
that's another 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So I do what everybody else does. And
So speaking of inconvenient detours, the bridge,
Oh yes.
Is
So
that- Is
next summer I'll probably have to go.
not some. It won't be next year. It's
Okay.
2027.
but they're
Okay.
closing the bridge?
They're going to be the bridge is going to be closed.
So
for
how's
8
that going to
months.
work for school and
Oh,
fire
we're
department?
trying to work on all that right now. We just
Well,
had
The
our
geniuses
first
in Augusta
meeting.
are at it again, aren't they?
Yeah, so we had a meeting about that, and yes, what you've heard is correct.
Are we going to get a tax abatement on our fire and school bus deal or what?
So I will tell you.
Zip line across the river?
Oh, a zip line would not be a bad idea.
They
to
got them
be
in Grand
honest.
Falls.
So we actually did ask the question.
What's their plan?
Well, they're coming up with a plan. But one of the things that we asked, so I was watching in the meeting with our new Public Works Director, Chris Perkins, and so we were on mute, but he says to me, they should be refunding towns for the inconvenience because they're going to have equipment and people on both sides of the river. And so, of course, me, unmute. Yeah, so what are you going to do? Like, I'm acting like it's my big idea, when it was actually Chris Perkins' idea. And they said, oh, yeah, we'll need to think about that. So we do have that on the radar, that we need
It was immediate for me.
Yeah.
Because I live on that side of the river.
Right.
Yes.
And I'm like, how is the school bus going to run?
Right.
How is the fire engine going to get? Is my house going to
police.
burn down?
Right.
You
So
know,
Fort
like-
Fairfield was on the call too, and they'll be affected because they may have to provide aid to that side. So anyway, those are all conversations that have officially started.
Maybe they gotta spend the money and put me up in an apartment over here in town for the whole summer.
Everybody who lives on that side of the bridge.
Maybe they got to.
Yeah.
The state's
You know,
had the number of bridges over the
There's
years.
just
Yeah.
the lack of brain power down there. I work for the state, and I will say that on camera, and nothing surprises me anymore.
Yeah. So we've started to have those discussions, but the plan that they have opted for, which they've told us that this is set in stone, their option that they're taking, it will be closed for 8 months and one lane will be open for 8 months. So it's going to be 16 months of inconvenience for everyone living on that side of the river. And a lot of the questions I asked were about farmers, if you've got one lane, how are you going to get equipment
You
and
can't.
staff
You're not gonna be
through
able to.
there? It's just, and I said in different ways, we have, farming is still our bigger taxpayers, our farmers. Our culture is built around farming. We have a potato bag factory. Farming is at the very fabric of our community, and to have some of our biggest landowners that are not able to use a bridge to get their product to places across the bridge, or their equipment from farm to farm without going all the way around, is going to be very inconvenient, and it's not acceptable for us that our people in the best part of the year, when they have to make all their money, are going to find that to be very challenging when the bridge is not working. So one of the things that came out of it is,
Couldn't they build a temporary bridge? The Army Corps of Engineers does it every day somewheres in the world.
yeah, so that
Right?
was one of the options. was
And
to have a
the
temporary
engineering
bridge.
unit is in Augusta.
Yeah,
LePage made sure of that. So they couldn't put a temporary bridge across so we could get across.
well, that was one of the things they considered, and it was going to be too much money. I have
For
my
who?
notes upstairs.
For who?
For the state of Maine. Yeah. So we're going to try to get in touch with another community that's had a similar issue, but I don't think there's going to be any place in the state that would have
I
such
think
a long
I think there
loop,
could be some
you know?
phone calls made that could elevate this a little
Okay.
bit.
Well, why don't you call me and we'll talk about a strategy.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
No, I just it's
They've
we're-
been rehabbing bridges
we're
for
not-
the last 100 years, and they never close them down. They do one half at a time.
It's something
As
to
a
do
rule.
with the construction of the bridge, that they can't do that because of, and they explained all that to us, but what do I know about bridges? My dad was an iron worker. That doesn't mean I know anything about great structural hanging iron and making bridges. I could ask Steve, maybe he might know, but they explained all that, so when it's half in and half out is going to be after the 8 months it's closed, apparently. Yeah. So yeah, it's yeah. So we're all on the call. We had people from the school, people from the city, people from the county, Darren Woods from
So what are they gonna do?
EMA.
How long is the bus ride gonna be?
I don't know, a long time, especially if you're like 4 years old. I mean, can you
Yeah.
imagine? I can't imagine like putting a 4-year-old, like, that lives across the river. is
That's
gonna
the
have to
situation
go
I'm
through-
in.
Yeah.
My daughter's 4 years old. She just started school, what, 2 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
she'll be 5 next summer.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, or whatever, 6, I guess, if it's in 2027.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean,
I think we're
I'm just
gonna-
saying,
Yeah,
there's
no.
not gonna be some happy people.
yeah, no.
So are they
Um,
thinking of sending the buses and equipment through Fort Fairfield?
I mean, that's what they're talking
Fort
about.
Fairfield or
Presque
Presque Isle?
Presque Isle
Well,
or
it's the only way you're gonna be able to go. You're gonna have to go clear around to Grimes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And all the way around, or clear to Limestone and then back. Route 1A, I mean,
Or Presque Isle.
or Presque Isle, either way,
Mm-hmm.
you're an hour out of whack.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have to start the bus, they're gonna pay overtime for the bus drivers?
Well, these are things that we're gonna be asking them
I mean,
for, you
it's,
know?
I've thought about it in 3 seconds here, and they
No,
don't,
well, we have a whole list now for them, based on our conversation.
like I just said earlier, you know, look who's running it.
Yeah. So, yeah, so stay tuned. Yes, everything you've heard is true.
Well, the good news, it's not a planning board issue.
Yeah, it's not a planning board issue, but again, you know, you're members of a board, you get feedback from citizens, and it's good
Yeah.
for you to be in the know about
It's generally
things.
negative on stuff like this.
Yeah, no, and this is gonna be negative, and we told them that, like, this is gonna be something we've never seen in town, how bad this is gonna be. You know, it really bisects the town. I mean, there's,
Well, you have 2 or 3 of the largest taxpayers in town that are gonna be directly impacted by it.
right, no, I know, that's
Which-
what I'm saying. That's what I have said to them.
So they talk about the cost, but they're spreading the cost out to all the people that are impacted. Just from Eric having to go around to get to work, to
Yeah, where's my check?
the farms that they can't function.
The guy from a foreign country living in Lewiston's getting a check. Where's my check? You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry to be that visceral about it, but this is the kind of stuff that the state is failing us at every day.
I think we've touched a nerve.
I think we have.
Wow. I haven't even gotten started.
So staff report, I mean, we're just working on all of our normal things. We have a RFP out for a qualified environmental professional for the steam plant right now. Our QEP for the diesel plant, we don't have a demo RFP out yet, but I hope that we will soon. They have a contractor for the Riverfront Master Plan. We have a lot of things going on, a lot of things. All good things,
Except for the bridge.
except the bridge. Yeah, the bridge is not a good thing.
If the governor's coming for the Amazon,
Yeah.
maybe to bring the bridge issue to the attention of the governor.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down. Steve says.
Yeah, Steve
Yeah.
Wentworth said.
No,
That'll be useless, but
Yeah.
anyway.
No, but it's
Is
a
that
good
an opinion?
suggestion.
But if
That's an
if
opinion.
these decisions are being made at the Department of Transportation, that's somebody there that's protecting their budget or whatever.
Right.
You know, by not spending the money on a temporary.
There's no outside the box thinking, Steve.
But
How
maybe-
much
maybe
did
to
you
get
deal with the
governor
state?
To come back down and say, we need to provide a bridge for Caribou.
Right.
For the 16 months that they can't
Right.
access, their residents can't access the town.
Yeah.
Basic services,
Yeah.
you know?
But you know, that's a good suggestion, because, I mean, who knows if I'll have a chance to talk to her, but if I let all of the Caribou, like the city council will be invited, I don't
Yeah.
know who else, but if I give everyone like some talking points, like,
A
Make
copy of your communication.
yes,
So you've got
have a
what's
briefing sheet.
7
Yes.
councilors could all be slipping an envelope
Yes,
over to
yeah.
Janet.
A briefing sheet about the bridge. That's a great idea, Steve. We're gonna work on a briefing sheet, and then
Well,
if we have
like I
any of these
said,
people
we
that
got
come in,
time, you know, to make some influence here, because
Yeah.
they can be embarrassed awful quickly if you do this right.
yeah. Okay.
Let's talk about it
And there's
then.
also another option.
It would be a good thing
Always two options.
for the community to know this.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
pending.
believe me. I
So
know.
if you want a squeaky wheel, let's have a bunch of them.
Yeah, that's, I mean, because I heard about this through the grapevine also,
Yeah.
and I was not pleased. And they were, and from what I heard, they really weren't gonna tell anybody till they were ready to do it, is what I heard.
Well, I will say,
So much for transparency.
yeah, well,
Well, because they didn't want any blowback up front,
yeah.
because right where we're talking right now was gonna happen.
Yeah, but we did contact them and said they needed to set up some kind of a group.
At a minimum,
But it took a few calls to get that set up.
which
like,
really is pathetic, really.
you know.
Well,
But anyway,
the
we did get
newspaper and
one
the-
to get
the-
started.
The TV news should be, it's quite a
Hey.
story.
Facebook's gonna take care of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's somebody listening tonight that's gonna
Get the
Yeah.
word out.
post something.
Yep. Well, I can put it
Share
in
your-
the
share your
manager's report
concerns.
too, next time, so,
Call your legislature.
yep.
If they have to, they could extend it for a 3-year period to do half in 1.5 years and do the other half in another 1.5 years. Costs more
They can't
money.
get a bridge built, but they can figure out how to make you get a permit for a 3-foot tall fire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, that's the legislature. Pass
That's
that.
what I'm saying.
Pass that, yeah.
They're all lumped in together as far as I'm concerned.
But it has something to do with, if you did one side, it's too heavy. Like if you
It's
take all,
something to do with how
and it's
that
gonna, it
bridge
would
is
twist the
constructed.
structure, so they can't do one side.
Again, they explained all that
Something
to
about
us,
weight and-
but it's way over my head.
Engineering dynamics of that type of.
No, it's a
bridge.
real thing, but they've always been able to manage it before.
And some of
Well,
it
the
had to
solution
do with,
isn't to make us drive all over the county to get to the other side.
No.
That's-
or as I say, all the way around your hand to get to your thumb. Like, that's what we're gonna be doing, but, it has something to do with, I guess, several years ago, they did some reinforcing under there, but and that has something to do with it too, like there was something with the welds, I don't know, again, like,
Did they get into the life of this bridge? I mean, if they make these improvements, what
like
is
how
the
much
life expectancy of
of
this
this
bridge?
bridge, I don't know.
It's a list. The state actually has a list
Yeah,
of.
and it's something, this is also a historic bridge,
So what's that mean?
I don't know,
It's old.
something.
You can't replace it?
It's just old.
Well, I know
No,
that.
it's, I don't know, it's,
There's only
I
2
don't
of them
know.
like that in the state.
Yeah, it's something.
That doesn't necessarily mean it's a good
No,
thing.
no, no, I'm just saying, like, some of these things go over my head, because all I'm thinking about is like the logistics of getting services to people that
Yeah, I mean,
literally we
they-
can see them and we can't reach them.
God forbid somebody's house catches on fire.
Right, or
mean-
somebody has a need for an ambulance.
Well, that's what I mean,
or-
fire, ambulance,
yeah,
whatever.
or the police, or a plow, I mean, even just plowing the roads,
Yeah,
like.
how are they gonna, I mean, I don't get it.
So anyway, it's.
It's gonna impact the city, because if you gotta send all the trucks
Yeah.
clear to Fort, how much more diesel fuel are you gonna burn?
Well, again, this is something that we're gonna
Where's our
be-
check?
Where's our check? Okay. Eric says, where's my check?
It's gonna be on your headstone.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's, I mean, we're,
Yeah.
you know, in my mind, it's a taking, right?
Well, it's a cost imposed on you.
Well, right.
That's,
It's like,
none of it's
it's
your
just
fault.
like when the
or
government
none-
takes your property, eminent domain, versus a taking, right?
it's temporary
You're, you know, they generally have to compensate you for that. I mean, you could do some real quick math and figure it out. How many people live on that side of the river? How many taxpayers? How much money? You know, how many kids in school? You could figure it out pretty quick.
I mean, I worry about, like, are we gonna have to put, like, bathrooms on our buses? Because, like, you're gonna have little kids, like,
Yeah.
little kids can only hold it for so long.
That's why I don't know.
So
I can't
are we
imagine they
gonna
could-
enumerate-
Well, where the boat landing is, I mean, you could put where the old bridge was, you could put a temporary bridge across there. You know, where the pilings used to be, they took them out, but, you know. Especially in the summertime, there's almost zero flow through there. especially this summer, but.
All right. Hearing no other productive conversation,
Bring me to that real quick.
we'll move to item number 8 and
Big
consider
culverts.
adjournment of the planning board. I will entertain a motion.
I make a motion.
I'll second it.
Motion is made to, seconded to adjourn. All those in favor, we'll start with Steve.
Yes.
Dave.
Yes.
Eric.
Yes.
And I vote yes. Meeting is adjourned at 7:02.
Mics are off.
Well, they're not really off until I like turn them off and then close them.
So even if we shut the little green button off?
Well, your mic isn't, but something else can pick it up.